Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We are talking about tackling corruption now. We're joined by Professor Patrice Lumumba, who is a former director, Anti-Corruption Commission in Kenya, and is the director, Kenya School of Law. Thank you for coming on this morning, Prof.
Thank you for the invitation.
You know, when we talk about corruption, people describe it in different ways because their understanding of it in some cases appears to be different, to the extent that maybe government agencies and the people, in most cases or sometimes, not necessarily on the same page. Do you have this kind of challenge in Kenya where people say, no, what I did, this is not corruption, this is just a normal thing?
I think there is a sense in which we try to rationalize corruption, but we all know what corruption is. If you are traveling on the road and you give money to a police officer to avoid prosecution, that is petty corruption. If you are in public office and you use public office for private gain, we know that is corruption. So it is an attempt to give a veneer of legality to corruption, that we pretend that we do not know what corruption is, but we do. And we know who are thieves, even in our traditional society. So those who engage in stealing what that does not belong to them are engaging in corruption. And I've taken the view that in many African countries we pretend not to know the obvious because we have embraced things that undermine our very being as Africans.
You know, you've given several speeches about corruption. I think I came across one where you say you were not supposed to be fighting corruption, you were supposed to be perhaps this sin to be fighting corruption. What were you trying to say at the time?
What I was saying is very simple, that in many African countries we create institutions, but we don't intend to have those institutions do anything. We think, for example, many African countries are signatories to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption and the African Convention for the Prevention and Combating Corruption. But what we do is to simply sign those documents, but we don't believe in them. We don't believe in them. And when one is appointed into office, one is supposed to earn one's salary, one is supposed to appear to fight petty corruption. But when you begin to attack corruption where it hurts most, particularly amongst the political class, then they say, this man is now going too far. He's coming too close to us. And the net effect, therefore, is that we corrupt our entire political system. And one of the most important things that we must know, as long as the political system is corrupt, a country can never be liberated from corruption. I give a number of examples. In the recent past, we have heard about the Panama Papers, and the Icelandic Prime Minister resigned on the ground only that there were allegations that he was named as one of the individuals. Contrast that with South Africa, where there is a finding that the president is engaged in activities which amount to corruption, and the president sees nothing wrong with it, and his supporters see nothing wrong with it.